Alright, so funny story with this game is, like, we had just gotten done recording, I believe it was Chippendale for that week, and we were just looking for something to play just for the hell of it, for no reason. We weren't planning on recording this. So, of course, I have to pick a bullet hell game, because why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up doing really good at it, and I even made the comment, I'm like, why aren't we recording this? Because we're actually doing a lot better than we thought we would. So, and of course we wait like 2 months, and then we finally get around to actually doing it. But this is GundeadliGne for Steam, and the reason I picked this one as opposed to the other games in the series is it's the only co-op game, which sucks. Because I like these games, I just wish they were all co-op. Okay, L1 allows you to turn...
And then if you hold it, then you can do the beam.
Then, yeah, you get that. L1 allows you to turn around, so that's why I'm staying in the middle, because then and we get little mini-bosses. Yeah, see, we're able to talk casually during this one, even though it's one of those games where you really need to focus. Which is going to definitely make it kind of hard to talk, because this game's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're playing on the novice setting too. It's like one of the achievements is, oh, beat this game on, what is it, either suicidal or demonic difficulty.
Yeah.
It's like no, that's not happening. Okay, so you've played bullet hell games before this, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the audience like I know, but tell them a little bit about some of the bullet hell games you've played, and hell, you've even introduced me to one. Come on.
Einhander.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should remember the name.
Einhander by Square Enix.
Or Einhanda if you're gonna go with the...
It was
like,
a German title, I guess.
With,
and they based all of the robot names based on German, either German tanks or German words.
Which is different.
And it's a Japanese game.
And it's a bullet hell game though. Oh, get that hard.
I call it a bullet hell. I think it's categorized as a shooter.
This was like bullet hell before bullet hell existed.
Yeah. But it is a bullet hell.
I would consider it a bullet hell, and I'll tell you this much.
Basically, you're a little wasp unit gone rogue.
Yeah.
And there's like 9 levels, I think.
7.
Yeah. It's like, I know there was less than 10.
Yeah, it's not that.
Some of them are very lengthy.
It's about an hour game.
I know the train one.
What?
Is one.
The second level.
Yeah, is one concise level, but there's parts, so it seemingly goes on forever.
No, it's a long. The stages are all long, but the thing is, it's not a bad game because of that. Because there are some games that they don't do that many levels, but they do freaking long levels, and they're usually games that do that though are pretty bad.
Yeah.
This one's not, though. This one's actually...
I like all the robots are based on aminals.
Yeah, the robots are based on that. The gameplay is...
The gameplay's good. Music is amazing.
Yes.
Because it was composed in Japan, so of course it's going to be amazing.
It is probably one of the best unknown PS1 games, because I don't consider that a well-known...
As far as I know, it's a hard-to-find game.
Yeah, I've been looking...
You will shell out $50. When EB Games was around, I was looking for it because it was one of the ones we played on those PlayStation demo discs. And
I didn't.
We ended up liking it.
I never saw that on a demo disc.
My brother had one. I had a whole bunch of shit on there.
No, I remember.
Einhander demo, which will only allow you to play up to 3 stages.
No, I remember the demo discs, but I don't remember. I never played Einhanda on it.
Yeah, Einhander was on one of them, so it took me forever to find it. I think I found it sometime 2004, 2005.
How much did you find it for?
EB Games. They wanted $21.
See, that's a good deal.
$21 for it. I bought it as a birthday present for my brother because that was one of his favorite PlayStation games. And then years later, he ended up selling it to a buyer for $50.
Damn. Yeah, see,
because it's a rare game.
That's the average price I'm seeing it for on eBay. It is expensive.
Because from what I understand, not many of them made it over here in America. They ported over. You can get the Japanese one for cheaper.
Yeah.
But
And realistically, you don't need to understand any of it to be able to play it.
mm-mm.
That's the thing. Like, all you need to do is just be able to go to,
Because there is no concise story. You just jump from stage to stage.
Well, no, there is a story. Like, we'll probably
Oh, no, but not in text chat. Like, it doesn't open you up in a world. You basically, when you start the game, you just start off as a WoW shooter. You have to go digging on...
Oh, get that.
In the later stages.
Yeah, the only real text form comes probably, I would say, at the end of Stage 6 into Stage 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Other than that, though, no, there's not really that... Like, you'd have to scour the internet for that story, and it's a really good one. But, no, you don't need to understand that game to be able to play it, because it starts you off automatically on New Game on the menus, so...
That's hard. I never made it past Stage 3.
How far did I make it?
You beat the game.
Yes, I did.
In 2 days.
Yes, I did.
You couldn't put it down.
No, I couldn't. That game was an obsession, and it was fucking hard. And
I told you to put it down because you kept getting pissed off.
that's because some of those stages are so goddamn brutal, man. And here's the thing, they give you a lot of lives. Well, maybe not a lot of they give you a lot of continues. Yeah, I know that's going off, but they give you a lot of continues in that game. They give you 10, which you would think would be a lot, but when you only get 2 lives per continue, 2 or 3 I think, so that adds up to only about 30 lives, which sounds like a lot, but you can die in one hit, which is a problem. Like, that's the biggest problem, is you can die in one hit, and don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. A lot of good...
there are power-ups, too, but they don't last long.
Well, it depends. Like, okay, the thing is, you can get other guns and attachments and power-ups for your ship, but and that gives you an extra hit. Like, when you get hit, then you lose the gun. If you get hit again, then you die. So, technically, it's a way around the one-hit thing, even though that still doesn't help all that.
I recommend getting the needle and the missile.
Was the needle the Gatling gun one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the best power-ups.
That's the needle.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter what you do, you still have to practice and just get good at the game. That's the thing, because it's not easy no matter what. It's probably one of the hardest games I've ever beaten, certainly, especially for a more retro game. Because if this was on an old PS1 demo disc, and it's an old PS1 game, you know it had to be mid to late 90s. So it's definitely, like, I don't know when the term bullet hell actually came into being. Because there were shooter games like, Life Force, and one of the ones I had growing up was Sky Sharks, which was a vertical shooter at that point. I like that we're, definitely getting, it seems like games are going back and forth between vertical and horizontal now, which is cool. Like, we're getting a lot of both. But it seems like
This is bad. I'm stuck in a corner.
It seems like all these shooter games, though...
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, you definitely need a heart. I'm sure we'll find one. We're doing fine. What is this? Is this her? Well, good thing there's an extra life floating around then.
She has like 7 forms.
Wonderful. And I gotta do this
and then her last form has like 10 HP bars.
And I gotta do this by myself, too. Well, at least I have a few hearts floating around, so... Unless one vanished, inexplicably. Makes sense to me. It just went off screen. It's like, fine, you're not gonna get me? Well, fuck you, too. I may as well. If it's gonna go off screen, it'd be a waste to let it go. Yeah, look at that. That is a long HP bar already.
Okay, second form. 3 HP bars.
Oh, Jesus. Doing fine. Great, I need another heart badly.
I'm not gonna give you one now.
Of course not. There we go. I'll take that. No, that... I don't... Was it...
I guess that was
Really?
it.
Wow, that's...
I remember she had more HP bars than that.
That's what I thought, but what... Wow, that was it?
That was it.
Well, that's... that's kind of disappointing.
We're really doing demonic.
Yeah, since that was so short, just for the hell of it, let's try our hand at demonic, and I love it. It says hellish difficulty. Okay, let's see how far we can get in this mess. Wait, did I pick a different person?
Yeah.
What? Shit.
Oh god, holy shit.
Oh my god, there's so much shit coming at us. I think there's a reason it's called hellish difficulty.
Oh my god!
I can't even see
I'm
myself.
gonna die.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, that went quick.
Good luck. Wow, I'm already dead.
I'm still going. Nope.
Ah, there you go.
There you go. And down you go. Again, it's a one. And the year is like 1790 something. It's like, yeah, I remember reading about this in history class.
Totally.
You know, freaking cybernetic doll things flying around, shooting at floating pumpkin heads. Yeah, that
The
happened.
invasion of the Pumpkinheads
Pretty much.
was a real battle.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, it happened just shortly after the War for Independence from Britain.
Mm-hmm.
And then Britain sent that's what happened. Britain sent all these things after us.
They did, and we just didn't write them because we didn't think it would sound lame if we were being attacked by flying pumpkins with witches' hats.
And all this magical and technological, like steampunk kind of.
So conspiracy theory they wrote, or, you know, the
They-
most boring war ever as a cover-up.
Pretty. Yeah, that makes total sense.
I shit you not.
That would be the greatest conspiracy theory
Greatest
ever.
cover-up ever.
If the war was really exciting and interesting
Being
like
attacked
that,
by naked ladies on guns and shit. you
and
know.
then they just wrote the most boring thing. It's like, what would they have to gain by doing that?
So it's a cover-up.
Yeah, that's like the conspiracy theory American Dad did of how a black man didn't really invent peanut butter. And they had this whole Illuminati type thing,
Peanut glue.
peanut glue. Oh yeah, they were the Illuminati. But they had this whole big conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it is. Everything's a damn conspiracy.
Don't be surprised if our real president was a jar of peanut butter. I shit you not, I believe it.
We need to play a political game so we can actually have reason to talk about that
Vote
sort
for
of
the
thing.
jar of mayonnaise as president.
We need to play that game too. As stupid as it was. It's one of the dumbest Steam games I've ever played, and yet sadly I've played games that are worse than that. It just involves clicking on a jar of mayonnaise. Which is insanely stupid. It's like when you say that out loud you realize, boy, this might be a dumb concept. But they ran with it and made it work. It's nothing, it's just a jar of mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Like,
I don't even like mayonnaise that much.
but the game is funny, because, and I mean, they tried to do one involving bread too, but that wasn't as fun. I mean, you actually got to play as bread.
You flop around as a piece of bread.
Octodad had better controls than that.
You were attacked by Neko chicks on balls.
Yes. Makes total sense.
I would be surprised if that actually happened. And they just wrote the most boring war ever to make it sound cool.
Yeah, to make it... Well, if you're going to write the most boring war ever, I don't think it's going to be cool then.
No, to cover it for all this cool shit that happened. Because I think they'd be crazy but if they said that we were attacked by half-naked Neko chicks on balls.
On flying space orbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally what happened. Use your special.
No.
It's full.
It won't let me use it.
And you're pressing square?
See? It won't let me use it.
I think it just did. I want to know how in the demo they're getting like fucking 2,000 hit.
Because it's a fucking demo. They want to make you believe you can do that.
Yeah, but the Ghostbusters 2 demo for NES, all that thing did was just drive right into the hole. It didn't even care. Either that or they probably got some Korean kid to play the demo, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is too easy. I do this before breakfast every morning.
I would be surprised if they did.
I wouldn't be surprised if I just offended somebody there.
It's the truth, like shit.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not a negative stereotype because you're...
It's a positive one that they can beat shit in the morning and then have a cup of coffee after and then go to work and then, you know...
And then come home and beat another game.
Another one on hard mode. That's impressive, okay? That's finally fucking impressive.
I do that before breakfast every morning.
Right? Ah.
Cause shit, it took me forever just to beat Dark Souls. So like, oh yeah, I did that before breakfast. That was like a brunch snack for me right there. It's just beating Dark Souls. That game took me so damn long to beat.
No, they're just doing HD remakes of them.
Well, because okay, you've told me it was based off a book series. It doesn't the book series end where like isn't Dark Souls 3 supposed to be like the end of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you can't really, unless you want to craft original story, which you could theoretically. But no, they're just remaking it. And okay, in all fairness, they're remaking it from like 2 generations ago because the Switch is 2 generations above the PS3. So you can make the graphics look at least a little better. I hate when they remake last-gen games. That's my biggest pet peeve. Because how much better can you make it look? Because they remastered the last...
I do know we are going to get F4. Dark Souls 4. I just think they're not going to call it Dark Souls Full, but they said there was a 4th one in development of the Soul series.
So they're going to get into that chronologically confused bullshit.
Yes.
Where we're going to name...
the story to that, the books are still confusing as shit, too.
Well, yeah, the storyline is not all that simple. It's definitely a deep
You do what I do and just stay in the middle and just do the spread.
Hey, if nothing's coming in the middle, you may as well. It's like, I remember that boss, like, sending, like, barricades in each row at some point. Like, I remember shit happening.
Unless it just changes.
I don't know, I couldn't tell you. But I'd be interested to see a Dark Souls 4 come out. That'd be fun. I still haven't beaten 2 and 3 because 2 is even more brutal than the first one. And they put a lot of beginner traps for you. Which is... It's a douchey thing to do, but at the same time, it's awesome. Like, I'm not gonna fault them for pulling shit like that. I'm gonna fault myself for falling for it. Like how in the original Dark Souls, like, I didn't know the proper way to go at first, because, you know, it's a pretty open-ended game. I end up going into the graveyard, like, well before I should. Which is probably why I'm dying a lot, is because going in there. But maybe down the line though we'll play Gundemonium and Hitogata Happa, because those are good games. They're just as hard as this. They're fun. Hitogata is different because it's a vertical shooter, which I like how they changed it up in the series. Problem is, they're both single player. I don't like that. Like, give me the option at the very least. Well, because aren't shooter games more fun when you can play them co-op?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say shooter because this is what a shooter was back in the day. It wasn't, first person Call of Duty, Gears of War, some kind of other stupid bullshit. It was this. Because we didn't have
I don't know how those games are still making new ones. It's the same shit.
Yeah. Or in the case of Halo, it's getting worse. Because we know that Halos 4 and 5 were not received even by the hardcore fans. Those things are crap. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest proponent of Halo either. Like, I liked the multiplayer back in the day, but then Call of Duty I played like Modern Warfare and things like that, and that multiplayer was so much more refined, I thought. But their argument against Call of Duty is, oh, it's the same thing over and over. It's like, what are you playing? I'm like, I'm playing the multiplayer. That's why it's the same goddamn thing. Play the campaign. Play the campaign, because Modern Warfare probably, I would say it's probably largely agreed that Modern Warfare had the best campaign out of any Call of Duty. Like, I didn't beat the first one, though you don't really need to, but I did beat 2 and 3, and 3 ends on a freaking awesome note. Like, it's really cool.
Jesus, man. Get the fuck out.
And he doesn't even die, he just goes away.
Oh, shit.
And then, yeah, this thing. I just stay right next to her, just shooting the crap out of her. Because that's the thing, it works, because her cubes will absorb they'll absorb your attacks and get her life back.
It took my heart.
Oh, I didn't notice you had gotten hit. Yeah, just shoot out the bottom one. I got this one. Unless you have to take them, or he just goes away. Because I'm trying not to grab the hearts even more so than standard, because you kind of need... This was the final form on beginner, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
I guess that's it.
It's the same thing even on the higher difficulty.
She had more, but
yeah, I remember her having more, but that's kind of depressing. That even on the standard difficulty, it's the same thing. It's definitely a fun game, and we're not done with it by a long shot. But I don't know if we'll ever beat Demonic, because there was too much shit there at the end. Just for those two difficulties. I don't know, but still, fun game. Really enjoyed playing it.